Hello, dear students. I welcome you all on behalf of Sri Jayendra Rangjun classes. Welcome you all. Dear student, in some of the previous classes, in a continuation of the chapter that is Morphology of Flowering Plant, a class 11 chapter, in this we have already completed the vegetative part, root, stem and leaf. And in continuation to that, we have also talked about or discussed the flower, the inflorescence pattern, and different parts of the flower. That all we have covered. In today's lecture, in continuation to that, we are going to study the fruit. Dear student, fruit is one of the important characteristic feature of angiosperm. If you see in case of gymnosperm, pteridophyte, bryophyte, in any plant of that, you will not see the presence of fruit. Fruit will be only seen in case of the angiosperm. So what is the specialty feature is found in case of this angiosperm? So they are observed like this. So to understand that, we need to discuss this fruit in detail. So let's discuss. So fruits. The fruit is a characteristic feature of flowering plant as we have discussed, and it is nothing but it is a modified ovary. It is a mature or ripened ovary. Because ovary, you know that it is a part of a female reproductive organ, that is carpel. And in carpel, we have studied that they have a stigma, style, and ovary. Now, this ovary, when get matured, when get ripened, after a fertilization, it will be known as a fruit. So these are the fruit which we use normally it in our normal day-to-day life. So these are the some of the edible fruits. Now, fruit formed without fertilization. See, we are calling it a fruit when it is formed after fertilization. And it is a converted ovary, or we can say a modified ovary or a matured ovary. But if some fruits you will see in market, when you take it buy it from market, you will see that some seeds do not have some fruits do not have a seeds. So such fruits are formed without fertilization of the ovary, and that fruit are known as parthenocarpic fruit. So what do you understand from this? Whatever the seedless fruit are obtained from market or we buy from market, they are nothing but parthenocarpic fruit, and they are seedless because they are formed before or without fertilization. And the fruit, if we talk, it consists of wall, pericarp, and seeds. Okay, this particularly, if we see a fruit, then fruit will have a seed in the central part, then the fruit wall will be known as a pericarp. And this pericarp may have watery content or may not have a watery content. If they have a watery content, they will be known as fleshy or succulent fruit. And if they do not have a watery content, then they will be considered as a dry fruit. So this is the apple, and you can see in this whitish part is the pericarp, and this are the seeds. Now this is again a strawberry and almond. If you see, this are the some of the fleshy fruits. Okay, and in case of almond, actually in almond there is a not a dry pericarp. It is a wrong. It is they having a fleshy pericarp. They have a dry seed coat actually. Okay, so this is the thing which is seen. If pericarp is thick and fleshy, we will discuss the almond in later part. If pericarp is thick and fleshy, it is differentiated into the outer pericarp. Means see, pericarp is differentiated into the three layers. The outermost screen region, if it is fleshy, then it is known as epicarp. Then the middle one is a mesocarp, and the innermost region is the endocarp. So see, suppose this is the particularly epicarp, skin is epicarp, then this is the mesocarp, and then the particular inner endocarp will be observed. And this, see, this is the mango. In mango, the hard coating you see over the seed. Actually, in the center you will see the seed, but actually seed is not that. Seed is present inside that, and that center part, which is a tough to break, that is endocarp. Then what we eat in the mango usually, that is mesocarp, and the skin which is initially a green in color and later on it become a yellowish somewhat, then that skin is known as apical. So now in most of the plants, the fruit develop from the ovary. Okay. And other floral part degenerate and usually fall off. They shed off. The thalamus or the pedicel also contribute for the fruit formation. In some of the fruit, you will see there is a conversion of pedicel is also involved, or particularly thalamus is also involved. If the fruit is derived from the plant part or a floral part other than the ovary, then we call that type of fruit as a false fruit. So whatever the fruit which are formed due to the contribution of thalamus or pedicel, then that type of fruit will be known as a false fruit. This is the cashew nut. It is somewhat a false fruit. Okay, these are the also a false fruit. Okay, we will discuss that. So which part of the flower contribute for the formation of false fruit? So any part of the flower like thalamus or pedicel along with ovary, if it is involved, then it is known as along, or we can apart from the ovary it is involved, then it is known as false fruit. So what is the true fruit? The question immediately comes in our mind. These are the nothing but a fruit which develop from the fertilized ovary. From where they are going to develop? Fertilized ovary. After fertilization, even ovary convert into the fruit, that are the true fruits. And within ovary, you will see the presence of ovules. That ovule known to convert or develop into the seeds. So ovary form a fruit, and within the ovary, the ovule which is present, that is going to form a seed. Because of this, usually we see seed within the pericarp, seed in the center position of the fruit. So this is, you can see this whole conversion, you can see this is the whole ovary. So this whole ovary is forming a whole fruit, and this is this ovule. This ovule is going to form a seed which are present centrally. Okay. So there is a great variation in the nature of pericarp in fleshy fruit as well. So pericarp can be fleshy or dry, but in fleshy also there is a great variation, and in dry pericarp also there is also a great variation we will see. But in the fleshy fruit, if we see this variation based on the nature of pericarp, true fruits can be classified into two types, that is a fleshy fruits and the true fruits. It is not that true fruit, any fruit can be divided into true fruit to two types, that is a fleshy fruit when the pericarp is divisible into the epicarp, mesocarp and endocarp, or pericarp is watery or we can say juicy, then we call it as a fleshy fruit. Whenever the pericarp is dry, without water, an indivisible pericarp means pericarp is not able to differentiate into the epicarp, mesocarp and endocarp, then we call it as a dry fruit. Now this fleshy fruit, if we know, that are also known as succulent fruits. These are also known as succulent fruits. Okay, now let's discuss further. So fruits are of, if we talk about classification, we classify fruit into the three groups initially: simple fruit, aggregate fruit, compound fruit. We all are going to discuss, this will discuss this all in one by one. Simple fruit develop from a single flower, but in that if multiple carpel are there, and if this carpel show a syncarpous gynoecium or fused gynoecium, then this fused or syncarpous gynoecium in a multicarpellary condition will give rise to the simple fruit. But if the fruit has a number of carpel and flower has a number of carpel and that carpel are free from each other in apocarpous gynoecium, then that is going to develop a fruit. That fruit will be known as aggregate fruit. And when any fruit develop from the entire inflorescence, single flower is not involved. Multiple flower of inflorescence are involved, and whole inflorescence when give rise to the fruit, that are known as compound fruit. Now the simple fruit are divided into two types, that is a fleshy fruit and dry fruit. Actually, simple fruit are divided. Fleshy fruits are nothing but, obviously, if they are part of simple fruit, they are developing from the syncarpous gynoecium. And if they are a fleshy fruit, they have a fleshy and differentiated pericarp. But if they are a dry fruit, they have a dry and undifferentiated pericarp. Further, this dry fruit which having a dry and undifferentiated pericarp is divisible into three types, or divided into three types. That is a dry dehiscent fruit. Dry dehiscent fruit are those fruit in which pericarp is dry, but it will break automatically to release the seed. So we are calling it as a dry dehiscent. It is automatically dehiscing, automatically breaking to release the seed. But dry indehiscent fruit is the second type in which the pericarp is dry and it is indehiscent, means it is not able to break automatically. There is a need to break it. Then they are known as dry indehiscent fruit. And the third one are the schizocarpic fruit, which will be the multi seeded fruit, which will break into the single seeded part. Okay, we will discuss that schizocarpic fruit, which will be seen in case of the groundnut. So parthenocarpic fruit, also we have discussed already, the fruit formed without fertilization of the ovary, and the process of formation of parthenocarpic fruit is called a parthenocarp. If we take an example of the parthenocarpic fruit, this is banana, because you will see that in banana usually seeds are absent. But it is not that banana is naturally produced parthenocarpically, or we can say they are always parthenocarpically. They have some minute seeds, in ripened seeds can be present there when they are the seeded banana, but some seedless banana tomato will be obtained that are parthenocarpic fruit. Now, pericarp nature, if we talk, is one of the characteristics used to identify the fleshy fruit into five subtypes. So yes, in fleshy fruit, the pericarp is fleshy. That is sure. But based on the differences in the pericarp of fleshy fruit, they are into the different types. And if we divide this fleshy fruit into different types, they will be divisible into this type like a drupe, berry, hesperidium, pepo, and pom. These are the fruit which are divisible into these four types, five types. We will be discussing this fleshy fruit one by one, and you know that this fleshy fruit are known as succulent fruit. So let's discuss first type of fruit, that is a drupe fruit. In this drupe fruit, if we see, the fruit actually develop from the monocarpillary superior ovary. See, superior ovary means hypogynous flower. Which type of flower? Hypogynous flower. So this fruit is developing from a single carpel containing hypogynous flower. Other three floral parts are originating from the lower than the ovary, so it is ovary superior. And usually the drupe are one-sided. And if we talk about examples are the mango and coconut. If you see in case of mango, the pericarp is well differentiated into outer thin pericarp, a middle fleshy mesocarp, which is the edible part, and the inner stony hard endocarp. See, so this is the mango. Apart from this mango and coconut, we remember almond and walnut are also example of this particular drupe fruits. Let's see. In mango, if we talk, you will see that this is the skin epicarp, this is mesocarp, and this is the stony endocarp. So in this, which part is edible? Mesocarp is edible. Okay. But stony endocarp is there. So actually, these drupe fruits are characterized by the presence of hard stony endocarp. Okay, so that point we should write. They are characterized by, they have hard stony endocarp, which is the characteristic feature of this. So they have stony endocarp. And obviously in mango there is a presence of stony endocarp. Apart from this, in coconut, if you see, it is also a drupe fruit. And here in this coconut, the endocarp is stony, but mesocarp is fibrous. You can see in coconut this is the endosperm. a white part which we eat actually. Apart from this stony part is actually endocarp. And over this, if you see this fibrous part represent a mesocarp. Such a way coconut is seen. So now in coconut, the actually edible part is which one? Endosperm. Endosperm is also of two type in coconut. You will see the water, that is the liquid endosperm, and this part is the solid endosperm. Okay, both are edible. Okay, so this is the thing seen in case of the coconut. So coconut have both solid and liquid endosperm, which are edible part. Okay. Okay. Apart from coconut, if you see in case of the almond also, actually in almond, seeds and cotyledons are edible. So whatever we get, that we get seed actually. Actually in almond also, these seeds are covered by this particular stony endocarp. And surrounding to that, you will see the fibrous part, that is mesocarp. But actually, whatever the almond we get in the almond seeds in the market, that you will get this seeds. So it is not easy to locate the endocarp because we get directly extracted seeds. But this is actually a stony endocarp. Because of this, this almond are placed in the drupe. Same way in walnut, if you see, in walnut also, the part you will see like this, brain like part you will see like this. So actually these are the seeds, and this tough coating is stony endocarp. And here also, due to the presence of stony endocarp, it is placed in the drupe fruit, and in walnut also seeds are going to be the edible part. Okay, so this is the particularly thing which observed in case of the drupe fruit. After drupe, now we are going to study another type of fleshy fruit, that is berry. In berry, if you see, the mesocarp and endocarp are usually known to sing fused to form the pulp, and the seeds are hard. And these seeds are going to be tough. So the berries, if you see, they actually develop from the bi or multicarpillary syncarpus gynoecium. Why syncarpus? Because obviously they are the simple fruit. So obviously they are going to develop from the syncarpus condition. But they are developing from one, two, or mono, bi, or multicarpillary syncarpus gynoecium. If you see in case of the berry, further the example which are seen, that is a guava, okay, you will see grapes, you will see, and tomato you will see. Apart from this also there are some particularly some more example, guava, grapes, tomato. Apart from this, brinjal is there, that is also one type of berry. Banana is also known as one type of berry. Okay, dead palm and betel nut. They are also berry, but all these are multi-seeded berry, whereas these two are single-seeded berry. Okay. Now, if you see in this, usually you will see the epicarp is thin membranous like, and seeds are embedded in the fleshy part. Initially, you will see that the seeds are found attached with the placenta of the fruit, but after maturation, the seeds are getting detached from the placenta and are spread randomly in the fleshy part. In case of this berry, okay. So what is that? That we need to note it down. That the placentation is exile, exile. Ovary, maybe the ovary from which this fruit developed. That ovary maybe superior or inferior. In this, generally epicarp is thin, membrane-like. Epicarp is thin, membrane-like, and seeds are embedded in fleshy part. Then it is known that initially the seeds are attached. Initially, the seeds are attached with placenta of fruit. Initially, the seeds are attached with the placenta of fruit, but after maturation, the seeds are detached. The seeds are detached from placenta. Okay, and spread randomly in fleshy plant. Okay, so this is the thing how you will see the particular arrangement in case of this part. Now, if you see some of the examples which are given in this the figure, you can look at here. In this tomato, if you can see, this is the epicarp. Okay, if we want to look at, we need to take another color. Let's take this blue. Suppose this is the epicarp in case of tomato. Okay, then you will see mesocarp. Okay, this is the placenta. Okay, and here on the placenta you will find that these seeds are attached. Okay, here epicarp is thin, and this is the part which is formed by fused mesocarp and endocarp. Such a way you will see the particular presence. Okay, same way if we draw some more fruits like banana. This banana look like this. Okay. In this banana, you will see the outermost skin. And in this, you will find this particular arrangement. Actually, this banana is a one type of false fruit. Now, what happens in this actually? See, this is the skin you see that is actually a fused thalamus and epicarp. And when you see this skin, which is made up of fused epicarp and thalamus, which is thick, which is somewhat fibrous on the inner side. Okay. On that, you will see the fleshy mesocarp here. And here in the center part, you will see the presence of what? Endocarp. So this is the mesocarp, which is fleshy, and this part will represent endocarp. Actually, it is difficult to differentiate between this endocarp and the mesocarp in this banana, but they will be somewhatly appeared like this. An endocarp lies in the central region, and this central region contains many seeds. Now, if you see these seeds are unripe seeds or unfertilized ovule. Okay, and they appear as a dark spot. But when we talk about banana, in banana, both mesocarp and endocarp are edible. Okay, so this is with respect to the banana. Apart from banana, if we see in the tomato case, okay, the scientific name of banana is Musa paradisiaca. Musa genus you can remember for this. In case of tomato, if we take a cross section, you will see that the structure appears somewhat like this. And in that, you will see the presence of seed like this. Okay. So here you will see the presence of epicarp. Then this is the mesocarp, almost endocarp is fused with it. You can call it as an endocarp. Then these are the seeds, and you will see this particular presence of this part that is a placenta. The scientific name of tomato is need to be remembered, okay, because tomato is known as lycopersicon, lycopersicon, lycopersicum. Okay, so in this tomato, you are seeing that it is generally globular and it developed from the superior ovary, so it is a true fruit. Whereas it is a false fruit, it developed from the inferior ovary, that is banana. This actually tomato developed from the bicarpillary syncarpous ovary with the swollen placenta. And in this, all parts are edible except seeds. In tomato, all parts are edible except seeds. And this is a true berry which consists of a membranous skin represented by epicarp. Mesocarp is the middle one, which is fleshy part, and endocarp, septa, and placenta are pulpy, okay, in the central position. So this is the thing which you can see. Apart from this, if you look for the another berry, we can draw a grapes. And these grapes are, if we talk, the scientific name is Vitis vinifera. Okay. So in these grapes, it is a, we can say, superior berry or true berry because it is developing from the superior ovary, from the bicarpillary syncarpous ovary. And in this, if you see in the graphs, you will see such condition. Okay. And in that, you will see here like this. So this is actually a placenta. Okay. This is epicarp. Then this is a mesocarp. And surrounding part for this seed is endocarp. And centrally you will see the presence of a seed. So this is the graph where if you see, then all parts are edible all parts are edible, including placenta, except seeds. But in some variety, you will see some of the seedless grapes or parthenocarpic grapes. So in that, there is a no removal of seed is not needed, because same happens in case of the tomato as well. So seedless tomato and seedless grapes, seedless banana are available in the market, which we can eat. Okay, so this is the berry. After this, we are going to talk about the pepo. So let's talk about this pepo fruit. In this, the epicarp is like a ring. Okay. And this are some of the special type of berries. It is placed in special type of berries. Okay. So if you write, it is a special horseberry. Why it is known as special horseberry? Because this developed from the what we call inferior ovary. Okay. And in this, the rind is present, which does not separate from the mesocarp actually. So here mesocarp is fleshy and the endocarp is smooth, and it developed from the tricarpillary unilocular inferior ovary actually. And the examples in which you will see, that is a cucumber. Okay. Apart from cucumber, if you need to write a particular some of the examples in this, then you can write about the other gods. Okay, you can write cucumber, then you can write pumpkin. Okay, watermelon. Okay, all are this particularly actually the examples of this pepper. In this pepper fruit is found. So to understand this pepper fruit, we need to draw the diagram of this cucumber. Okay, in detail. So if I take this particular cucumber across cross section, okay, you can see this is the, if you take a cross section, this will look like this. And if I draw it somewhat bigger, it will look like this. Okay. So if I draw like this, let's remove once and draw circle properly. The circle will look like this. Now in this, in the central part, we see somewhat like this. Okay. And in that, like this you can see. And in that, you will see some seeds presence here like this. Okay, like this, the whole particular thing is present. Now, if we label this, this is the ring. If you mark this, then it is a mesocarp. Inner to that, you will see this, that is a endocarp. And you will see the placenta here. And this placenta, if you will see the arrangement of a particularly acids. So seeds are not going to separate from the placenta. So these are the seeds. So this is the placenta and this is the seed. So here seed are not going to separate from the placenta and which are incurved to form our septa. Okay. Rind may or may not be edible. Okay. So rind is actually formed by the epicarp plus thalamus. So it is a somewhat, and due to which we call it as a false berry. Okay. So normally endocarp, mesocarp as well as placenta are edible. In watermelon, only endocarp and placenta become juicy, so they are edible. Okay, so this is the pepper fruit. Now, after pepper, next fruit which we are going to discuss, that is a hesperidium. It is a superior berry, and it is characterized by a leathery epicarp with many volatile oil glands, peppery mesocarp, and endocarp wall bear juicy hairs. So if we see it in detail, the hesperidium developed from the multicarpillary syncarpus multilocular superior ovary. It is a superior berry, and the citrus fruit are included in this. Superior berry. Now, if we see in case of the citrus fruit, In case of the citrus fruit, if you see this asperium is found, and it is a many chambered, and each chamber is properly covered by this white endocarp. See, this is endocarp actually. Each chamber is covered by a peppery endocarp, and it is derived from a polycarpillary syncarpus superior multilocular ovary, as we have seen. Axial presentation is seen. And in each chamber or locule, if you see, the fruit encloses one or more seeds. You can see here the seeds will be visible. One or more seeds will be visible. So the number of edible, juicy, and placental hair are observed. The hair will be observed, and endocarp will be juicy. And this all chambers are covered by a common white fibrous mesocarp. You can see this is the mesocarp, and this mesocarp has a glandular oil glands, and the glandular skin you will see, that is what epicarp. So in this you will see that in citrus juicy endocarp and placental hair are edible. This placental hair which you see here, they are unicellular and they are edible. Okay, and this citrus fruits include orange and lemon. Okay, so this is the hesperodium. After hesperodium, the next fruit we are going to discuss, that is the pome fruit. This fruit developed from the inferior ovary of a bi or multicarpillary gynoecium. In this, if you see the gynoecium surrounded by a fleshy thalamus, and if it is developing from the inferior ovary, obviously it is a false, simple succulent fruit. In this, the endocarp is somewhat cartilaginous. Okay, and when you see the example is apple. In this apple fruit, dear students, you will see that it is developing from the inferior ovary. Apart from this, pear is also an example of this pome fruit. Here, the remains of sepals and stamens occur at the free end. Here you can see this is the remains of sepals and petals you will see here. Okay. And here in this you will see this is the thalamus. And here actually you will see the undifferentiated pericarp. Means pericarp is not differentiated into the epicarp, mesocarp, and endocarp. So this outer fleshy part is made up of thalamus, that is only edible part. This thalamus is fleshy, so it is going to be edible. And this thalamus contains a ring of some vascular bundles. You will see here some vascular bundle like this. Okay. And here centrally you will see the presence of stud like this. So epicarp is not, pericarp is not differentiated here. So such a way you will see the particular this pome fruit in case of the apple. So pome is also one type of false fruit. Now, after pome fruit, we are going to discuss one more important type of fruit, which is not discussed here. There is balusta. If you talk about this balusta fruit, this balusta is a special type of false berry. It is also special type of false berry. And in this, it is known that this balusta type of fruit are found in case of pomegranate. So if we draw the diagram of this pomegranate, it will be easy for us to understand these different parts. So when we draw this balusta, now in this you will see the chambers like this. Like this chamber you will see. And here you will see this is the somewhat a thick part. When we study this thick part represent a fused pericarp and thalamus. Then you will see this part as a mesocarp, and you will see this as a peppery endocarp. And within this peppery endocarp, you will see the arrangement of placenta at particular special points. And over placenta, you will see the arrangement of particularly some seeds, and these seeds are like this. So like this, the seeds are present here. But if you see the structure of seed in the structure in the middle part, you will see this is the inner seed coat, and over which you will see whole pulpy this testa. Okay, so this is the whole seed, but in this one we call that is this one, that is inner seed coat, which is known as tegmen, and this is known as whole outer seed coat, that is tegma, sorry, testa, which is known as testa. So this testa is juicy and edible. So in pomegranate, the edible part is actually the juicy testa. And within juicy testa, the tegmen is that which is horny in which embryo is protected. So this is the same case of the pomegranate, and pomegranate is known as Punica granatum in a scientific name. Okay, dear students. So this is what about the balusta and all type of what fleshy fruits. Now we will be discussing the dry fruits. Before that, discuss some of the question. Fertilized ovary is called as fruit. Parthenocarpic fruit is formed. Obviously, it is formed without fertilization of ovary. Example of parthenocarpic fruit is mango is seeded, cashew nut is also seeded, banana, apple is seeded, so banana will be the answer. If pericarp is thick and fleshy, the fruit is generally differentiated into. It is divisible into epicarp, mesocarp, and endocarp, so it should be 3 parts. False fruit are formed from plant part other than ovary, that is thalamus or pedicel. Example of drupe fruit is guava is berry, cucumber is pepper, citrus is aspergillum, mango will be the answer, which is a drupe fruit, mango and coconut. Okay, so dear students, now here we have completed the fleshy fruit and we have started with the introduction of the fruit. Okay, so now we are completing this lecture here. In the next lecture, we will be discussing dry fruits, its different type, and the aggregate and the compound fruit. Okay, so we'll discuss on this in the further lecture in continuation of the part of this lecture of fruit. Okay, thank you.